What is going on, guys? It's DJ Eric Kuhl, and today we're going to be combining drill and reggaeton. If you guys don't know what I mean by reggaeton is like that Latin Spanish stuff like Despacito, Bailando, Mi Gente, stuff with the beat that goes like doot 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 doot. Like, that's just a very brief explanation, obviously, but yeah, that's what that stuff is. To start off this combination, I'm gonna go into Electra and find a sound to play the melody in. I'll be back once I got that done. So the sound I ended up choosing from Electra X was this Key Maestro sound. All I've done to it right now is add a half speed EQ, a high pass EQ to be more specific to cut out those low frequencies, and then some reverb. So it sounds like this. And yeah, let's get in and start playing that melody. So for this kind of melody, I want to try combining really dark drill chords with kind of like a reggaeton pattern. So I'm gonna experiment and see what we can come up with. I'm also gonna speed this up to like 150 because reggaeton's faster, drill hangs down more with that 140 BPM, so just try to meet it in the middle a little bit. I'm just gonna kind of copy that, so I got the main pattern, and then let's change the chords. I'm gonna make that a G, only select that note. So now we got something that sounds like this with the metronome. I'm gonna kind of cut this off a little bit so we got more clear kind of chops. Alright, so now that we got this basic melody kind of ready, I'm gonna go back and add a counter melody later, but we can start adding in drums. So I'm gonna bounce this out as an audio file, and a tip to avoid this clicking sound at the end is you set this from transient no bleeding to transient bleeding, or you can use generic bleeding or smooth bleeding in there as well. But what you do now is you drag this and it creates a volume kind of envelope for you. So now when you play it, you do not hear any of that, clicking noise, and it's just otherwise very ugly sounds. So now we can start adding in drums. So I'm gonna go find a bunch of drum sounds and I'm gonna put those in when I get back. Okay, so I went and got these drum sounds. This FK kick, this DBZ Shakire to Afrox I have no idea if I'm saying that right. This comes from like a ethnic kind of Caribbean and Latin American kit, and it sounds like this. And I got your standard kind of jug hi-hat. Got a tick snare. I hear this used in some reggaeton, so thought it would be a cool addition. And then I got a bongo perk. Let's start adding in drums, starting with the snare. So I'm kind of combining elements of reggaeton and drill with this samba pattern, and then the hit on the 4. Alright, so we're already starting to get both drill and reggaeton bounce here. So now let's go start adding in these hats. Adjust the volume a little bit. I want to add in a few rolls here to make it a little less boring, starting with over here. So I'm liking the sound of those hats, so now we're gonna move on to the kick. We gotta put some soft clipper on that for sure. So there, what I did is I combined like the drill kick, you know, hitting every like 4 on the floor type stuff, and then I just swapped this one, you know, where a drill kick might go. So now that we got that done, let's move on to this bongo perk. Gotta pan that to the middle. So I'm liking how those drums are sounding right now. So now what I'm going to do is move on and find an 808, and then I'll play that in. Okay, so the 808 I ended up choosing was the 808 3C. What I've done in this envelope is I've turned everything down except the hold. And coming into the mixer, I'm just going to turn it down a little bit because I know from experience this 808's a little loud. And I also know that I should probably turn down some of those mid frequencies when I go up to those higher notes, because it will be a lot if I have too many of those frequencies up there. So now what I'm going to do is start playing those notes in. I'm gonna go a little easier on that. Yeah, there we go. I'm gonna kind of mimic this first pattern here. I think that adds some nice bounce. So now what I'm going to do, copy that over and then make some changes so it doesn't get too boring. You know, just listen to the same pattern over and over again. Swap those. Bring it back up. Alright, so I'm liking what we have so far, but now what I'm going to go do is add in like a counter melody. So I'm going to go find a sound to do that, and I'll be back once I find that. Okay, so the sound I ended up choosing for this counter melody is this live dark flute. It comes out of this D March Aftermath Electro Bank, and it sounds something like this. And all I did to this sound was, again, add in a high pass frequency or high pass EQ as I did with the original sound that we started with, and I also slapped on a little bit of reverb there. So now what I'm going to do is make a new pattern and come in and start playing this counter melody in. Let's move this up. to bring this little sequence down here. So I'm liking that melody. It's a little simple, but we can just bring it in to add some variation here and there. So now what I'm going to do is going to go arrange this beat, and I'll be back to you guys once I got that done. Alright guys, so I'm back and I have finished arranging the beat. So I'm just going to break down real quick what I did. So in the beginning, just the melody, and then we have this build-up sound effect. And then chorus just drops with everything minus the counter melody, which comes in a little later. Once this chorus section ends, we take out some elements, you know, very similar to my other beats. Take out some elements, build it back up, then take out more, and then have it build back up into the chorus. And then the second verse is very similar to the first, just swapping out, you know, certain elements and adding in different ones in different places. And then the outro is again just the melody. So now I'm going to play this for you guys. So this is the final beat, guys. I really love the way that it turned out. It turned out really well. I hope we see some reggaeton and drill artists link up. I think that would be dope. I love when genres mix. And speaking of mixing genres, my final video in this genre mixing mini series is going to be uploading Sunday. It's going to be combining drill and R&B, so stay tuned for that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, if you could leave the video a like, drop a comment, you know, let me know what you think. That'd be awesome. And I was checking my YouTube analytics the other day, and only around 10% of the people watching my videos are subscribed. So please hit that subscribe button. It would do me a huge favor. Ding that bell so you guys can be notified when I upload next. And yeah, that's it for me today, guys. I hope you guys learned something again, and I'll see you guys later.